ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
So this is our today's topic, our today's class, Module 4, Air Transport Essentials. And as I said, it's a very, very direct module whereby we are going to discuss on what normally happens at the airport when passengers depart and when passengers arrive at the airport. So part one, let's look at the overview, the introduction of the module. So you notice that as agents, our primary function is to help make travel arrangements for our customers. Therefore, the goal of this module is to introduce you to the industry's common reference guide and how to access information relating to the flight schedule and other services. In addition, you'll be able to look at and be able to describe the services and facilities available to passengers both before and during the travel. So in this module, you'll also be able to look at the codes. I know we are tired of codes, but you're also going to look at more codes that are universally recognized throughout the industry, which will help us to serve our customers in an easy way. So part one of this module, I'm going to look at the airport. All of us, we are familiar with airports around the world. So before we look at the airports, I want to know which type of airports do you know around the world? Any airports you're familiar with? Any airports? Anyone who can tell us more about the airport? Any airport you know? Who goes first? Types of airports. Can you give me the names of airports that you know? AZ Airport, which one is that? From where? We don't have AZ Airport. That is Alitalia, that's an airline. I'm talking about the airports.
Bole Airport.
Bole Airport, correct. Any other? Airports. We have Bole International Airport.
King Abdulaziz Airport.
Yes.
King Abdulaziz Airport in Jeddah.
Okay, the one in Jeddah, correct. Any other? Any other airport you know? Bezawet Teklu? Bezawit? Mada? Yes, any airport?
Aziza?
Yeah? Which airport is that? Beza Belete? Beza Belete? Okay.
Arlanda. Arlanda. Arlanda.
Okay.
Sweden.
Okay, Beza Belete. Yes.
Gatwich and then
Yeah. We have Parichas de Galle, correct. London Heathrow, correct. London Heathrow, we have Parichas de Galle, we have Fumisino Airport, we have Hanenda Airport, we talk about Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JF Kennedy Airport. So these are airports that you'll be going through as you serve your customers. So we have to understand more on this airport. We must know when customers go out of the country, what normally happens to them at the airport. So we as agents, it's our duty to understand and be able to know more about the airport formalities. So let us look at more on airports. Now, you notice that airports are constantly changing in an attempt to offer better services to both passengers and visitors. Cities with several airports, for example, London and Tokyo, they normally compete vigorously for new traffic and more passengers. Also, many airports position themselves as a regional hub, creating competition between airports in the region. A good example is between Addis Ababa Airport, which is Bole, and Nairobi International Airport. They normally compete too much so that they can attract more customers within this region. In fact, when you are traveling within East Africa, people knows only two airports. It's either you are from Bole International Airport or from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, because they have worked hard to make sure they compete with each other so that they can be able to get visitors and come up with new business within the region. So you're being told to attract new business in both in terms of the route, in terms of the carrier, and in terms of the airport passengers. Airports around the world strive to improve their level and the range of airport facilities. They offer a lot so that they can be able to attract more visitors, more carriers, and more passengers. Last time I was trying to ask some simple questions, like how many airlines operate at Bole? And we noticed that Bole normally serves not more than 20 airlines. You go to Nairobi, they may serve maximum 35 airlines because of the services provided between these two airports. So airports will be able to attract visitors, to attract airlines, to attract more business in terms of the services they offer to their customers. Then I've been told the largest airports have become mini cities. They compete with the main cities. For example, when you go to London Heathrow Airport, you can confuse it with a city because the facilities under this airport is high standardized. They offer first-class meeting, first-class shopping restaurants. They offer in-terminal hotels, leisure facilities are there, and a variety of transportation options. You can travel by train, in fact, high-speed trains. You can travel by high standardized type of cars in this particular given airport because they have proved to be a mini city within a city in terms of the facilities they offer. Now, as agents, we must make sure we are familiar with some of the services offered by these airports around the world. It is important to know these airports, locations, names, and the three-letter codes. Of course, I'm 100% sure we are familiar with that. We did this long time ago, whereby you are supposed to memorize the airport names and the airport codes. So it is simple for all of us because we are familiar with airports around the world and some of the codes that we have representing the airports. Now, the list given there is some of the examples of the largest airport and the busiest airport in the world. You talk about the Atlanta Airport, Beijing Capital Airport, Dubai International Airport. We have the airports that offers the highest number of passenger services. From Paris Charles de Gaulle, Dallas, Hong Kong, Los Angeles, London Heathrow, Haneda, in that order. These are among the world's busiest airports. So it's our duty to understand and be able to take care of the situation in terms of understanding the busiest airports in the world. So this table, it gives us the list of 10 busiest airports in the world. You can see their codes, the number of passengers they serve, the cities where they belong to, and the names of the airports and the ranking of the airports. So make sure we are familiar with all that. You can look at that. I'll give you 2 minutes. Look at it so that you can be able to understand more. We have 1 to 10 from Atlanta International Airport until Dallas International Airport. You can see the number of passengers that they are serving. Now, when you look at this list, you notice that America has like 1, 2, 3, 4 airports on that top 10. They have 4 airports in that top 10. Remember, we talked about America serving half of the international travel. So half of the international aircraft, they land in America because people go to America too much. So you can imagine the number of passengers that are being served in these 4 airports in America. Then airports normally have what you call terminals. You call them airport terminals, whereby you're being told departure terminal or departing passengers will arrive at the airport and check in at a departure terminal. Many of the larger airports have more than 1 terminal building. So it is important for you as a travel agent to communicate the information about the check-in terminal number to your travelers or to your customers. Because some airports are very, very large. They have more than one terminal. So the customer must be informed where he will be departing at the airport. In smaller airports like Boda International Airport have only 2 terminals, either international terminal, that's terminal 2, and domestic terminal, that's terminal 1. So automatically, when you are going out on international flight, then you only go to terminal 2. When you are traveling domestically, then you go to terminal 1. Because the airport is not that big enough to have multiple terminals. But very, very large airports, they may have many terminals. So it is your duty to communicate to your customers the terminal number where your customer will be checking out or checking in at the airport. When you go to JKIA Nairobi, you may have almost 4 terminals. So when you're departing on international flight, then you must be communicated of the terminal you'll be checking in at the airport. When you're traveling domestically, then you also have to be informed which terminal to use. Because you may get terminal for Kenya Airways only, you get terminal for ET, you get terminal for other airlines, you get terminal that serve only domestic. So it is our duty to communicate that to our customers so that they don't waste a lot of time at the airport trying to locate the terminal number that they need to use. So you're being told departure terminals are normally numbered at multiple terminal airports. This information should be included in the passenger's copy of the trip itinerary. In larger multiple terminal airports such as London Heathrow, each terminal usually has both departure and arrival area, whereby arrival area are often located on the lower terminal level, while the departure area are normally on the upper level. So you have to make sure you inform your customers when it comes to departing at these larger airports. To avoid confusion, to avoid waste of time, you must communicate to your customer the terminal number where they'll be departing from. Now, we have London as one of the busiest. London is one of the busiest and largest airport hub in the world. I will repeat again. London is one of the largest and busiest airport hub in the world. It has multiple terminals. You can see 4 of them. It has 4 functioning terminals. But in general, one terminal is the home to the national airline, that is British Airways. So British Airways flights arrive and depart at Heathrow Airport at Terminal 5. Terminal 5 is allocated only to British Airways. You can see Terminal 5, it is not that congested. It only serves 3 airlines, BA, IB, and I2, because it's a terminal located to only the home carrier. The same thing, when you go to Nairobi, you notice that JKA, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, has several terminals, but they have also located one terminal for the national carrier, that's Kenya Airways. When you travel from JKA to any other country using Kenya Airways, you'll always depart at Terminal 1E. But when you're traveling with the Ethiopian airline, then you may go to Terminal 1C. Because Terminal 1E, it's a terminal which is located only for the home carrier, that is Kenya Airways. The same thing to London. It's a very large airport whereby it has 4 functioning terminals, and one of the terminals is allocated to the home national carrier, the British Airways. And that terminal is Terminal 5. Terminal 2, which is called the Queen's Terminal, is the most recently renovated terminal. The most recently renovated terminal, which was opened in a while whereby terminal 1 is not part of the terminal given. The reason it was closed since 2015. So we have only 4 terminals: Terminal 2, Terminal 3, Terminal 4, and Terminal 5, which are the functioning terminals at London Heathrow Airport. Now you can see the terminals here. Let me remove my picture. You can see the terminals. When you are arriving with Ethiopian Airline, then you can see which terminal will you use. You use Terminal 2. You can see it is there. All these, they use Terminal 2. When you are arriving with Kenya Airways, then you check Terminal 4, where Kenya Airways is allocated. So it is our duty to find out the airline we are using and which terminal you'll be using when you arrive and depart at that particular given airport. So when you're going to London using Ethiopian Airline, we use Terminal 2. When you're going to London using Kenya Airways, we use Terminal 4. When you go to London using British Airways, then we use Terminal 5, because that is the arrangement of the airport. For more information, you can check the website of the airport and understand more on the terminal and the operation in those particular given terminals. So you can see the picture of Terminal 2, of terminals at the airport in JKA, sorry, in London Heathrow. You can see how large it is, very, very big. Terminal 5 is located here. You can see Terminal 5. Then Terminal 2 and 3 is up here. You can see it up here. Terminal 4 is on the other side. So you can imagine, if you are to go to Terminal 2, then you have to take a taxi, because it is very far. If you are to go to Terminal 5, then you also have to take a train to go to this Terminal 5, because of the distance between the terminals. So it is one of the largest airports and the busiest airport in the world. The map shows, you can see the roads. There's a road here where you can use the taxis, you can take the train, you can travel by all means of transport. So you can see the 2 runways. We have one around Terminal 2 and 3, and we have another one around Terminal 5 and 4 on the other side. So it is our duty to inform our customers on which terminal they'll be using when they arrive at a given airport, or when they go at the airport for their departure abroad. So you have been told airports serving international departures and arrivals differs in size, design, and facility. So the way the airport is designed, the size, will give us an overview on how they serve these customers. They may share common process. The end-to-end airport experience for passenger does not simply begin at the airport itself, but from the moment a booking is made. So as travel agents, it is your duty to help prepare your customers with all the necessary information so that they ensure a smooth journey to abroad. So you can imagine you are the first time traveler, only arriving at the airport, you don't know where to start from. So, and if this customer will encounter any problem along the way, automatically they will blame you as an agent. So to ensure there's no blame, you must inform your customer, you must prepare your customer when it comes to the international trips so that they have what you call a smooth journey. So you can see some of the process here, passengers experience and process steps. You can check in online. You can also, once you're checking online, you scan your documents, you can go all through the process until you clear with the customer. So to make it simple, we are going to go through all this process together so that we can understand how customers have to go through from the start of their journey until the end of their journey. That's why I told you, we are going to assume we are departing and we assume we are arriving. So we are going to go to abroad when we're in class, go to the airport, check in until we take off. Then we also imagine we have arrived and see what normally happens when passengers arrive at a given airport. So that's what we're going to look at today so that everything becomes okay. So I can see a question here. BA is written within TC Terminal 2 and Terminal 5. Now, when you go back to the terminal here, this is this is London Heathrow terminals. And you can see in some of these terminals, we still have British Airways. It is their home, they can decide which terminal to use. So in addition to Terminal 5, they can also use Terminal 2, they can use Terminal 3, they can use Terminal 4 because they are home. So that's why you can see under Terminal 3, we also have British Airways. Maybe this British Airways under Terminal 3 is an airline that arrives from Middle East or from UK or from Europe or from some part of Europe. So that's why it is allocated under Terminal 3 again. But generally, Terminal 5 is the terminal allocated to these BA flights. But it is not only limited to Terminal 5. It can use any other terminal because they're at home and the airport belongs to them, so they can decide which other terminal they may use in case Terminal 5 is congested. The same thing to, like when you come to Bonn International Airport, all international flights, they use Terminal 2, both departure and arrival. But you notice at Bole, airlines coming in from Dubai, they don't use international terminal. They use domestic because of some different reasons. So it depends on how the government and the airport authority have arranged themselves to serve all these airlines. So what I can tell you is Terminal 5 is not only limited, airline known as BA is not only limited to Terminal 5. They can also use other terminals because they belong to them at their home country. So, as I said, as a travel agent, we must communicate to our customers on everything they need to know when they go out. So, let us look at the departure formalities. Let us look at the departure formalities. Now, We are going to go through the departure formality together. Before we look at this departure formality together, I want someone to tell us what normally happens when you arrive at the airport for your flight. Who has ever departed? Who has ever gone out? Who has ever gone out? Yes? Anyone who has gone out of the country? Who has ever traveled on international flight? Okay, no one? So I wanted, if you have ever traveled, to explain to us what normally happens when you arrive at the airport. Munira, okay. Bethlehem Teklu, where did you go to? Bethlehem? Yes, where did you travel to?
No, I don't go anywhere.
But I see your hand was up.
To say I don't go anywhere.
Okay. So no one has ever gone out. No one has ever gone out. So we're going to go out together now. I want us to go out together so that we can go out. Let's go to London from Bole. So let's go out together. We'll go to London together and see what normally happens when passengers go out. So anytime passenger wants to go out of the country, they arrive at the airport for their flight. Once they're at the airport, they'll go through 4 main facilities or formalities to complete before departure. Before they depart, they have to go through the 4 main formalities, then they can go out. And these formalities are as follows. They follow each other. You don't interchange the formalities. Number 1, you have to undergo the check-in counter or the check-in process. Once you have checked in, you go through the passport control and security check. Once you are done with the security check and passport control, you undergo through the transit area. Then once you have been waiting your flight at the transit area, you board your flight and you take off. All departing passengers must go through all these 4 formalities. You must check in either online or at the counter. Then after check-in, your documents must be checked. Then you'll wait your flight at the transit area. When the time for boarding comes, you will board your flight and you take off. Those are the formalities available for all passengers departing a given airport. So we're going to go through all of them one by one, starting with check-in. Check-in is very, very simple because you can do it either when you're at home or you can do it at the airport. So all passengers who wants to go out, they must check in. So being told, having arrived at the correct terminal, all passengers will proceed through the check-in formality. With the increased availability of the internet and mobile solutions, 90% of the passengers around the world, they can check in online using their mobiles application. In addition to online check-in, passengers may also prefer to check in at the check-in desk. So we as travel agents, you give your customers options. if they are good in technology, they can check in by themselves online through their mobile phones. If they are not sure, it's better they go to the check-in counter, whereby they'll check in at the counter with the help of the check-in staff. So at the airport, check-in can usually be done with an airline check-in staff. Check-in is where passengers present their tickets or reservation codes and their passport to the airline check-in staff. The documents and luggage will be verified. The luggage is also checked in where necessary, and a boarding pass will be provided. So passengers will get a boarding pass at the check-in counter. When you check in online, you receive your boarding pass online. They'll send you your boarding pass, either to your email or as a text to your mobile phone. So you can print it out and have it with you, so that when you arrive at the airport, everything goes smoothly. But for those who check in at the airport, your baggage will be verified, your baggage will be checked in also, then a boarding pass will be given to the passenger. This boarding pass, it allows you to board the flight. So checked-in baggage is a baggage that will be loaded into the cargo hold of the aircraft. Remember, we're going to look at the two types of baggage. You have what you call checked-in baggage, a bag that will be checked in, which is very large, and taken away from you. Then we'll also have unchecked-in baggage, a bag that will remain with you during the flight. So at the check-in counter, some of your luggages will be taken away, will be tagged, taken away into the aircraft hold. Then I've been told an increasing trend at the airport is raising of fully automated bag dropout. So when you check in online, there's also some advanced airport whereby they have a machine that takes your bag. So you don't have to take your bag to the check-in counter. This is for more developed airports. But we are going to use the normal airport facilities. You check in, your bag is taken in by the representative, tagged, and it goes, so that you'll get your bag at the end of your flight. So you can see a picture of some passengers trying to check in at United Airlines, that is the airport in America. You can see the counters are like so many customers are there being served. So these counters are called check-in counters, where the staff members will be seated there ready to check in the passengers who are departing. Now, with the internet, passengers are allowed to print their own boarding pass from their home or offices, simply by accessing an airline website and entering their e-ticket code into the respective area. For example, we have Ethiopian Airline check-in, online check-in. When you're traveling the ET, you don't have to go to the airport. You can just open Ethiopian Airline check-in, online check-in website. It will open, then it will give you the options on how to proceed with your check-in. They'll ask you maybe your full name. They'll ask you your ticket number. They may ask you the departure date, the airline, and the flight number, so that when all this is inserted or inputted in the system, your information will be retrieved and the check-in process will begin. So once you complete your check-in online, a boarding pass will be sent to you. Then you can print it. Many airlines have moved to issue electronic boarding pass where the passengers checks in either online or a mobile device and receive what you call an electronic boarding pass. This boarding pass is often sent to the mobile devices through SMS. You can get it through SMS or to your email. The customer can request a mobile boarding pass by accessing his or her reservation on the airline website. So you can do that online and receive your boarding pass online. So things have been simplified due to technology. So, by the way, if you when you bought your flight online, when you are checking in online, the time to go to the airport may also reduce. Because as a rule, you'll notice that if you're checking in at the airport manually, you must be at the airport 2 hours before departure to process your check-in facilities for formality. But if you can check in online, then you can go to the airport 1 hour before departure. So you have to be very, very careful on that. If you are unable to check in online, then you must be at the airport 2 hours before the departure to process your check-in. But if you're in a position to check in by yourself online, then you have enough time. You can go to the airport 1 hour before departure. So you have to give this information to your customers so that they understand on how to process their check-in formality. So generally, if you can check in online by yourself, you can go to the airport 1 hour before departure. But if you are unable to do that, you must be at the airport 2 hours before the departure. These 2 hours will be used to process your formalities, your check-in formalities, all the 4 steps. But as long as you can do it by yourself, then the time to arrive at the airport will be shortened. Now, you can see a mobile boarding pass. You can get a boarding pass through a mobile, through an SMS, or to your email, depending on how you want it to be sent to you. So this is a mobile phone boarding pass whereby you can use it to board your flight. This is for passengers who have checked in online using the mobile phone or the email at the office or at their homes. Now, you have been told each airline has the final responsibility to the migration authority to ensure that all passengers hold a valid passport, visa to enter another country. It is the responsibility of the airline to ensure before you enter the flight to go out of the country, you hold a valid passport, a valid visa that will help you to enter another country. Failure to do that, airlines will have what you call heavy fines imposed on them. For any passenger who arrives at their destination without proper documents. I love this statement too much. Heavy fines will be imposed on airlines for passengers who arrives their final destination without proper documentation or without a valid permit. Now, assume you work with an airline, then you are the one who checked in the passenger. Only to notice, this passenger have traveled without proper documentation. The airline will not take responsibility. They'll bring down the responsibility to the one who checked in the passenger, the one who served that passenger. And that means to you as a travel agent or a check-in staff. So you have to ensure that the passengers have proper documentation before you allow them to board the aircraft. Passengers may fly via different countries to reach their final destination. So because of that, you must check everything. Remember, we checked about the passport for all the countries, the visa, and a team. So the same way you are checking the team visas, the team passport, you have to check everything for your passengers. That's why we started with that, so that you can be able to understand how to take care of your passengers when it comes to documentation. So you're being told visa requirement can be complex because passengers may be traveling via different countries. But thematic or team will be used to keep track of the latest visa requirement to travelers. Meaning you can use a thematic solution or thematic web to get all the information you need relating to the visa requirement. Therefore, agents and airline staffs can inform the passengers before they fly if they need to organize a visa. How will you get the information? You'll get the information using a thematic solution, TIM, Travel Information Manuals, or thematic webs. And that marks the end of the check-in. So make sure we know check-in is when you present your document at the check-in counter so that they can verify your documentation from the ticket to the visa before they allow you to go out of the country. You can do that online by using your mobile phone and accessing the airline website to check in online. So once you have checked in, you move to the second formality, passport control and security check. So you've been told, after completing all the check-in and baggage handling formality, all passengers proceed to the airport passport control and security check. At airport, it is the responsibility of the airport to ensure that all passengers hold a boarding pass to enter the transit area. Now, this one here is not the airline staff responsibility. No. The responsibility shifts to an airport authority personnel. Every country has an airport authority. You talk about Ethiopian Airport Authority, they take care of all the airports in Ethiopia. You talk about the Kenyan Airport Authority, they take care of all the airports in Kenya. So the airport authority personnel have to ensure that passengers with valid boarding pass will enter the transit area. The transit area is where they wait their flight. So it is their duty to ensure the passengers have the correct documentations, the passports is well taken care of before they enter the transit area. Then I've been told, increasingly around the world, automated pre-security gates can be found, where you are screened automatically. They don't check you manually. You pass through a gate that screens you and all your luggage. So passengers need to pass through an automated gate where only passengers with valid boarding pass token can proceed toward the security. Meaning, you only scan in your boarding pass for the gate to open. So the airport personnel, they'll only sit to monitor. You use your boarding pass as a key to open the gate. So if your boarding pass is not valid, the gate will not open for you. So that is the power of technology. And remember, this is only for the more developed airports. The normal airports, they have to check it manually to ensure only passengers with valid boarding pass will enter to the waiting area or transit area. Passengers need to pass through the gates, as I said, where only passengers with valid boarding pass can proceed. The security checkpoint is staffed by the airport personnel, whose responsibility is to perform the following checks. Now, once you have checked in, it means you have been handed over to the airport authority to perform some kind of checks on you. For example, they'll ensure that passengers is holding the boarding pass for valid flight departure. They will ensure that the passenger's passport names matches the names on the boarding pass. They'll also screen the passenger belongings and himself manually or screened to ensure they don't carry any restricted or dangerous articles. That is the work of the airport personnel. Now, once you have passed through that, you go and wait your flight at the transit area. As I said, transit area is also a place where we wait for our flights to depart. And this place is where passengers on transit, those who have not arrived, they have not reached their final destination, will wait to connect to their next flight. Remember, we talked about passengers on transit, goods on transit, passengers who have not reached their final destination. They may also wait their flight at that particular given area. At this transit area, passengers can take advantage of different facilities, from duty-free shops to the restaurants. So you can do your shopping there, you can buy anything you want when you're in that particular given area, transit area. So once your flight is ready, you go for boarding. So we're going to go back to the transit area as we continue, but let's finish up the remaining with the other part. Boarding. Boarding is the last formality to be undertaken before passengers are allowed on the aircraft. So the last step is boarding. At this boarding gate, every passenger's document will also be checked again. That is the passport and the boarding pass. This is the last check before being allowed on the aircraft. So they must do what's called verification. of your documents to ensure you are carrying the correct documentation and the correct passengers are the ones in the aircraft. So as a service provider, you must ensure you know the procedure when passengers depart at the airport. So let's revisit the transit area. Let us look at more on the transit area. Now, as I said, transit area is where passengers wait for their flight. And it's also an area where passengers who are arriving at the airport and they have not yet reached their final destination wait for their flight for connection. So this area will have both transit passengers and the passengers who are departing. You can see we have enough seats. There's a diagram here that shows, I think this is Bole. Yeah, it looks like Bole. So Bole International Airport Transit Area, whereby you sit, relax, and wait for your flight. In this area, you can take advantage of what I said, duty-free shops. Passengers in transit, they don't go through customs and immigration. Those who have arrived, they don't go through the customs and immigration again because they have not arrived at their final destination. Their bag will be transferred directly to the next flight. So they don't check their bags there again. Remember, the bag that you're having, the check-in baggage, you'll only meet it at your final destination. So we should know that passengers in transit, they don't go through the customs and immigration facility because their baggage will always be transferred to the next flight by the airport baggage handlers. So we're going to look at the baggage as we continue with our Module 4 class. Now, at the airport, we talked about passengers who have not arrived to their final destination. They need to connect. So airports normally offers some time duration to connect, known as minimum connecting time. So minimum connecting time is the number of hours or is the time needed for passengers and their luggage to transfer between two flights. So you can see we have 4 types of connection that exist. Number 1, international connection, that's between 2 international flights. Number 2, domestic connection between 2 domestic flights within the same country. Number 3, international to domestic. You have arrived internationally, you are departing to domestic flight. Maybe you are from London, you're going to Mekelle. Domestic connection between 2 domestic flights. You have arrived from Mekelle to Addis Ababa, you are going to Badar. We have domestic international. You have arrived from Mekelle, you are going to London. So you need to check the connection time. So generally, each airport will set their own minimum connecting time. We have an example of that down here. This is an airport in Athens. They have what you call minimum connecting time. When you are connecting domestic to domestic, it gives you 45 minutes. When you're connecting in domestic to international, you have 45 minutes. When you're connecting international to domestic, you have 55 minutes. When you connect international to international, you have 45 minutes to do the connections. But on average, around the world, the minimum connecting time between two international flights will be 2 hours. 2 hours is the average, this one. But as I said, every airport may have their own ways. They may have their own limitation when it comes to connections. So you have to take note on that so that you understand every airport will have their own minimum connecting time. But in exam, on average, the minimum connecting time between two international flights will be 2 hours. And that is all about departure formalities.
ልዩነት መፍጠር ዓላማችን ነው። ዓለም አቀፍ ተወዳዳሪ መሆን አለባችሁ። የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ጥራትና ደረጃውን የጠበቀ ስልጠና በመስጠት ብቁ ዜጋ እያፈራን ነው። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ፣ በቲኬቲንግና ሪዘርቬሽን፣ በሆቴልና ቱሪዝም ሙያዎች አሰልጥነን ተወዳዳሪ እናደርጉታለን። ኮሌጃችን ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ አይሲኤም ጋር በመተባበር ዓለም አቀፍ ዕውቅና ያለው ስልጠና እየሰጠ ይገኛል። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን በበረራ መስተንግዶ የምንሰጣቸው ስልጠና ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ ዕውቅና አለው። አድራሻ ከጎላጉል ታወር 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።